So for me professionally, I'm empathetically curious. I love connection. I value connection. I'm energetic, I'm genuine, and I'm courageously creative. So those are my values. And you can see I like to combine words sometimes. So empathetically curious and courageously creative. And to your point, I used to think my values were X, and I keep refining them and developing them. And then I started to realize, wait, why don't I combine words to give it more nuance? And now I feel good about them. Personally, I value humanity. I value justice. I value love. I value courage. So courage is in both, and I value fulfillment. And it doesn't mean that some of those aren't in my professional life as well, but they don't have to be. Humanity, for example, is something like I really want this world to be a better place than the way I left it, but I don't work for a nonprofit. Justice. We've been in a place of talking about justice and equity and inclusion and diversity. Like I do live in some of those spaces in my work, but it's not my top value. Personally, philanthropically, like I really do value justice. So I could go on, but I think sometimes we think that you have to be one way all the time. And the reality is we have different sides to us that we want to explore for different types of environments. How you are with your kids can be different than how you are with your employees, then different than how you are with your clients. And that all can be authentic. And too often we say, oh, that person's humble, that person's confident. Well, it depends. Like there's a time to be humble and a time to be confident. And I can get into that as well if you want. But I figure with values, I think it's a really important piece that is so simple to sort of figure out, but so nuanced and profound if you take the time to really dive deep into what they are.
I think, Brian, somebody's, watching this right now, and they're saying to myself, I don't think I know who I really am. What do you say to that person?
We're all on the journey, Chadi. I mean, I think finding out who you are and going through some self-discovery, and whether that's through therapy or reading or journaling or friendship or mentorship or coaching, like to me, I'm still evolving. I'm still finding out who I am. I listen. I ask my friends, hey, why are you friends with me? I asked my wife, hey, what do you notice? Last night we were out to dinner and she said to me, someone at dinner said, oh, you're deaf in your left ear, which is true. I'm deaf in my left ear. And she said to me, oh, and that's why you talk sort of out of one side of your mouth. I have a friend who's deaf in one ear and they sort of talk out one side of their mouth. And I looked at her and I go, you know what? During all these Zoom calls over the last few years, I've started to notice that I do sort of talk out of one side of my mouth. And I look at my wife and I go, did you notice that? And she's like, yeah, of course. I just never said anything to you. And so think about all of the blind spots that we have that we're not always aware of and that the people around us don't always share. And so that's something that I'm now more aware of. And through that awareness, I think I can grow and develop and learn and evolve. And so I think there are people that are good with where they're at, and that's totally cool. And, props to you. But for me, I think I'm always wanting to find out more about who I am. And I think every day I find out a little bit, something new about myself. I have 2 small kids. Trust me, they push me and challenge me in ways that I've never been pushed and challenged before. And I'm always figuring out who am I and my dark sides with them and what comes out when they frustrate me or disappoint me or challenge me in a way that is not ideal. And so like for me, that lifelong learning is imperative, but I'm also cool with people that are not interested and are just good with who they are. In some ways, I think that there's some jealousy that I don't just have that and I'm not just content with who I am. So it's a fine line because at the same time, I do believe that because I do the work, I earn the right to be me and be comfortable with who I am and I can still get better. So I hold both of those pretty lightly. Like I need to be me and I need to be able to grow. And so I think I'm able to do both of those. I will say the last thing, and I've been talking for way too long, but when I get feedback or like I did a rebrand and we asked 100 people who know me, some are clients, some are friends, what about me stands out? And that word genuine comes out. And I hear it all the time from people. And I'm fortunate because I don't know any other way to be than sort of me. So I take it as a compliment that, hey, am maybe providing energy that's useful to people and being genuine and authentic, and they seem to like it. That tends to be pretty good. If it was the opposite, it would not be ideal because I'd probably need to change and alter that. So yeah, those are some of my thoughts on that.